Land of the rising sun, we love and cherish. Beloved home, land of our brave heroes. We must defend our lives, or we shall perish. We shall protect our hearts from all our foes. But if the price is death for all we hold dear, then let us die without a shred of fear.
Good afternoon, good morning, good night, great Biafrans and lovers of freedom. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today is a very special day. A very special day in the sense that it's marking the first press release by the President of Republic of Biafra government in exile. We know that on the 3rd of August 2022, history was made. Over 30 pro-Biafran agitators and the organizations, associations came together and elected president and members that would channel the affairs of Biafrans. This president has been doing the job he took an oath to do. And today he's going to start weekly press release to advise and let our people know the journey so far, to let our people know what the government stands for and where the government wants them to be. Today, he's going to make his first broadcast, first press release, and the cabinet members present here, including our viewers, will be opportune to ask him questions. We are located on 1717 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C., next to White House. Our phone number is +1202 787 8909. We will introduce to you the President of Republic of Biafra government in exile. When he was elected, he was given the mandate to relocate to America if he would do the job for the Biafrans. And being a man of his word, he relocated and he has been doing awesome job. Today, in the cabinet and in the studio here are my co-host, Wada Rosemary Williams, aka Amazon, Vice President Umada Biafra Worldwide, and the Secretary of Treasury for Republic of Biafra government in exile. Again, you see Mazi Woye Jife. He is a gallant brother and a member of the cabinet. He is the press secretary to the government. And we have Mazi Mbakwe, the Papa of Umada, our own patron, a veteran, a man of unquestionable character, a man who has shown what it is to be a great father, a great leader. He is also the chairperson for the Elders Council in the government of Republic of Biafra. Myself, Wada Didamaka, President Umada Biafra Worldwide, and the Director of Biafra Global Network, call on my fellow Biafrans to welcome the President of Republic of Biafra government in exile, Honorable Tony NWISI. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. My fellow Biafrans, I'm delighted to be with you today. Today is the 6th of December, 2022. We're making our maiden press conference, which is going to be a weekly affair, to explain to you what the government is doing. And for those of us who may not be aware of the government was elected on August 3rd, 2022, at a meeting of about 30 pro-Biafra groups. And a copy of the report that captures the formation of the government is available on our website. So please, if you go to our website, it's probably called biafra-gov.org. You can read up on that report that states how the government was formed. This is the only government of the Biafran people which was elected by Biafrans in an open election. And following that election, I took an oath of allegiance and an oath of office with my hands on the Bible to the Biafran people captured on video. And so that is our legitimacy, who are elected by the people, the people's representatives on August 3rd. And a copy of the report is on our website. So today I make my maiden press conference. So I have prepared remarks. So I'm going to share those remarks. And then at the end of it, if you have questions for me, I'm happy to take those questions. But for our people at home, we're going through a lot as a people, but Ogadechama, Onyabula, Mashobike, Ogadechama. First of all, I want to call on the federal government of Nigeria to immediately release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu because he's an innocent man. He has not committed any crime whatsoever. He has been discharged by the court October 13. The court in Abuja gave the ruling discharging Mazi Nnamdi. So I call on the federal government again to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Thank you very much. So here is my prepared remarks for our people. At the end of it, I will take questions. It is actually directed to the governors and the political leaders. This is a press statement to the governors of the Southeast and South-South by the Republic of Biafra government in exile. Okay. In the face of the continuing ongoing and now routine massacre and pogrom of our people and brethren under your watch as the chief security officer of your state by the Fulani Neanderthal terrorists and the unschooled Janjaweed Nigerian military against citizens and unarmed civilian populations who elected you and whom you swore an oath to protect, you are hereby put on notice, or serving notice to the governors, that we hold you responsible for the continued decimation and genocide of our people under your watch. We deplore the degrading massacre, murder, slaughter, dehumanizing of our indigenous brethren, and the objectionable manner of the routine violation of their human dignity and rights by the predator Nigerian state. We deplore the continued refusal of the Fulani-dominated terrorist complicit government to grant respite to the indigenous population to ensure justice, fairness, and equity for all. We decry the enduring persistence of the federal government in deploying all aspects of the coercive instruments of state to forcibly subjugate our indigenous native populations, plunder, annex their lands, rape their women, slaughter their youth, steal their God-given mineral resources, and promote continued Fulani domination in complicity with terrorists and Sahelian primates at all levels of government. We strongly object to the widespread use of Fulani-dominated military to wantonly maim and kill unarmed innocent citizens and overwhelmingly the civilian populace with a view to suppressing their will to determine their own future. We observe with extreme dismay the open disdain and complicit connivance of security agents of the Fulani-dominated government of Nigeria in your states with wild armed Fulani primates to perpetrate horrific and horrendous murders of our peoples in a wanton disregard of human life and the desecration of our sacred sites, churches, traditions, and cultural places under your watch. Therefore, to the governors, therefore take note that on this day, December 6th, take note that we will not forget. We will not forget. Take note. Surround yourself with hordes of security agents to protect you. Deny the people whom you govern access to you as you sit in high office and walk the corridors and citadels of power amidst our poverty and pain. We will not forget. Deny your ancestral forebears. We will not forget. We'll remember. You're Igbo today. You're not Igbo tomorrow. It does not matter. We know who you are. We know where you live. We know your parents. We know your grandparents. And where they all came from. You will pay. To the governors, you will pay in due course, in due time. Thank you very much. My name is NWISI, President, Republic of Biafra, Government in Exile. At this moment, I'm happy to take any questions you might have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. You have spoken eloquently, and the message was short, concise, clear, and straight to the point. And I think the target areas and the target people, or the people that this message is meant for, got the message. They got it really good. So we will have opportunity to ask you a few questions, and I will start with Amazon herself. But Amazon, before I come to you, Mr. Jiffy Woye, you heard what Mr. President said. In few minutes, he touched a lot of points. What question do you have for Mr. President, having listened to all he said this afternoon, sir? Thank you. Mr. Jiffy.
Thank you, Madam Didiamaka. Appreciate you. And I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate our audience, Biafrans, Biafran, friends of Biafra, and all lovers of freedom all over the world. Thank you all. Yes, the president was concise, but his speech was well scripted and elegantly delivered. On that note, thank you, Mr. President. It is a work well done. Now, my question directs. So, particularly when you say the governors, would I be wrong to assume that when you say the governors, you had included the politicians? Because I am thinking that even though the governors are at home with our various cannibalized geography, you know, a gerrymandered state, the politicians who get themselves to the corridor of power by whatever means, because nothing they have done represents elections to me since 1952. They flocked to Abuja. Would I be wrong to assume that they were included in that your pitch note? That all take note. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, sir, my brother. I'm grateful for your question. You're absolutely right. Even though I have addressed the governors at this point in time, the same message applies to our politicians. I have addressed the governors because they are the chief security officers responsible for the safety of life and property of our people in their respective states. It is their primary duty, the security of life and property of our people in their respective states. That is their number one duty. Of course, the politicians, the senators, etc., that go to Abuja, they have a responsibility too, because they're involved in politicking, and they're involved in policy making, they're involved in the legislative work, which affects our people, or the lack thereof. But the core message is for the chief security officers of the states, i.e., the governors. They are the chief security officer of the states. They are the ones that are supposed to maintain law and order. They are the ones that they are the ones. My goodness, it's so annoying. They are the ones that our mothers should call when a thief tries to break into their homes. They are the ones that our elderly parents should call. They should call emergency number, and the governors should send the police to come and protect our people if they're being assaulted by criminals. But in this case, the governors are the criminals. The governors are agents of the criminals. The criminal being the terrorist Nigerian government, the terrorist president that Nigeria has. So the governors are enabling, they're aiding and abetting the work of the terrorist Fulani president that we have. And so they are in our crosshairs. They are the number one target. But the same warning that we have issued to the governors, the same applies to all the politicians, all the senators who go back and forth to Abuja, carrying Ghana must go, and then turning a blind eye to the suffering of our people, watching while our mothers are being harassed, watching while our youth are being slaughtered, mothers pregnant mothers with their stomach sliced open and the baby's brother, watching, looking away. It's the law. Um, Justice is coming. Justice is coming. We will not forget. There will be a day of reckoning. Biafra is coming. There will be a day of reckoning. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you very much. And you did absolutely very well with that question. A time there is always a payback time. Thank you. And to the governors, you are the chief security officers of your states. They run to by your citizens, but you guys have fed your citizens. The president couldn't have said it enough, and we are paying attention to all those. So, Amazon, ask your question to Mr. President based on all you have heard him enumerate today and all you have heard him respond to. Thank you.
You, my people, my Biafran people all over the world and lovers of freedoms who are not Biafrans that are watching us at this time. And again, thank you, Mr. President, sir. We've listened to you and you have been always straight on point, and you have been telling our people exactly what your government represents, what the way you want to run the Republic of Biafra government in exile. And we appreciate you for including the grassroots members and every aspect around the globe inside your government. So having listened to what you said this afternoon about the government, the governors in Biafra land, and how they have neglected their duties and become the criminals and the dogs that have eaten the bone that is hung on their necks. So for that reason, our people have risen. Most people have risen at home, especially the youth and the Ekwenche people and other people and they have decided to protect themselves, especially after seeing somebody being used hammer to break their skulls and everything, and all those other things that you have mentioned. And now I have a question, because something that is worrying me, that there is a message that is circulating today about who should give the order for you to defend yourself and who should not give the order for you to defend yourself. So, for instance, there is a message, a voice clip that has come out from a lawyer that unless a specific person gives an order for us to rise and defend ourselves, that we should not do so. So I want to find out, how does that relate to us protecting our lives, our properties, our land? Do we have to sit and wait for somebody to tell us to rise or not to rise, or to sleep or to wake, before we can protect our land? Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Amazon. I think that, if it's the same audio I heard, I think it makes the case that Mazen Kanu has not given the order for the lockdown between the 9th and the 14th. I think that's what I heard from that, unless this is a different message there. But in any case, whether or not it's a different message, the fundamental point is every man has a right to life. God gave us life. The government of Nigeria did not give us life. Therefore, it cannot take away our life. That's just fundamental. That's just basic. No man gave you life. It is God that gave you life. So it's only God that can take your life away. So any man who attempts to take your life, you have a duty, you have a right to defend yourself. Not just to defend yourself, but also to take the life of that person. Because it is called self-defense. If somebody comes into your home and wants to rape your mother, are you going to be watching while somebody comes to rape your mother or your sister? No, you're going to fight back. Or someone comes to your home and wants to beat your father up or beat your brother up, are you going to fold your hands? No, you're not going to do that. It's a natural right. It's a natural law. It's outside Nigerian constitution guarantees it, number one. Number two, whether or not it guarantees it, it is your right given to you by God, your maker. It is not a right given to you by Nigerian government or Nigerian constitution or whatever. They just echo that. They echo the right that God gave to you. God gave you life. And so for my people all over Biafra land, this is my message to you. Defend yourself at all times. Protect your home at all times. If the Fulani, if Buhari will allow the Fulani herdsmen to carry AK-47, make sure you have an AK-47, AK-48, AK-49, every other AK that is available. Protect yourself at all times. Defend your home, defend your family, defend your mother, defend your father, defend your village, defend your hometown, and never ever give up your weapon. It is your right to life and preservation. If the Buhari terrorist government has the audacity to import terrorists from all over Africa and Asia to Nigeria and arm them with AK-47, he has lost all legitimacy. You must not follow the Buhari's instructions or guidelines. You must not follow the governor's instructions. They are all illegal. He's an illegal president, and all the governors are illegal. They have lost their moral right to govern our country and to govern Biafra land. So protect yourself, protect your village, protect your family, protect your mother, protect your life at all times, and never, ever, ever give up, and never attempt to appease. Appeasement does not work. The only thing bullies understand is force, okay? The only thing bullies understand is force. This, we have examples throughout history, okay? Hitler marched into Poland, march into Czechoslovakia, march into France. Hitler was going to march into England. The only thing that stopped Hitler was when America entered the war, okay? An American force, that's what stopped Hitler. So bullies around the world are the same. The only thing they understand is force. And so any man coming to assault your family, assault your mother, your brother, your sister, and that our brother, unfortunately, I don't know whether his hand was tied or not, but whenever anybody attacks you, protect yourself at all times. Not just protect yourself. Anybody coming after your life, you have a right to take their life. It's called an eye for an eye. That is the way you survive. It's a natural law, natural justice. It is your, not only that, it is your duty. Thank you very much.
Oh my goodness. We all can see and hear the passion from the president's voice. We can see that quest to lead his people. We can see that passion to protect his people from his voice. Self-defense is not an offense. It's allowed in all the charters. African Charter, United Nations, even in America here, if you come to my house to kill me, I'll put my trigger on you first. If you kill me, fine. If I kill you first, it's self-defense. The president couldn't have said it enough. You see the passion in his voice that don't give up your weapon. Obtain any AK, whatever you can obtain. Defend yourself, defend your loved one, defend your wife, your children, your elderly ones, defend your land. Get what they got and face them. He couldn't have said it more eloquent. Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to buttress that. Let the world know that bullies need to be confronted. We are not begging anymore. Bullies need to be confronted. We are in our land that are coming. We must defend ourselves. So, Biafrans, I join Mr. President. I join the Ibayaka youth. Carry your weapon. Don't give it up to anybody. Don't give it up to governors. Don't pay attention to what they're doing. They are compromised. Defend yourself. On that note, I call Mr. Mbakwe to please ask your question to Mr. President.
Before I take the next question, I just want to say this very quickly. And then, if you may not understand it, but there's a saying that those who do not study history have a habit of repeating it. If you don't study history, you will not understand the way the world is organized, okay, and what's happened before. Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the concept of appeasement for ignorant governors and senators, okay? Appeasement. United Kingdom had a prime minister called Neville Chamberlain. Neville, when Hitler marched into Poland, okay, and then threatened to march into Czechoslovakia, Neville Chamberlain, the previous the prime minister at the time, flew to Germany, flew to Berlin to negotiate with Hitler and try to appease Hitler and say, look, if you agree not to go into Czechoslovakia, we're not going to go to war. He went to appease him. I said, in order to appease him, they carved out a part of Czechoslovakia called Sudetenland, and gave it to Hitler as an appeasement offering so that Hitler would not march into Czechoslovakia, okay, and then into France. So they tried to appease Hitler. And so Hitler signed an agreement with him. It's a famous piece of paper waved by Neville Chamberlain when he arrived in London, declaring peace in our times. Okay? Peace in our times. So he tried to appease Hitler, and he arrived in England the next week after he arrived with that piece of paper waving peace in our times. Okay? Hitler marched into Czechoslovakia. Not only that, Hitler marched into France. What's the moral of the story? Appeasement does not work. Appeasement does not work. Bullies do not understand appeasement. They see it as a weakness. You must never, ever attempt to appease the Fulani people or any other bully whatsoever. History is laden with examples. Okay? The war in Ukraine, between Russia and Ukraine. Ukraine did nothing, and Russia just marched in. First, they took Crimea, and now they're marching. They want to now take the rest of Ukraine. Now, if Ukraine, Zelensky had folded his hands and tried to appease Putin, you know what will happen. By now, they would have marched through Ukraine. Okay? So appeasement does not work. It does not work. The only reason why Putin has not marched into Ukraine is because Zelensky refused, and he fought back. Okay? He fought back. Another example in history, United Kingdom colonized United States. This great United States we have today was colonized by Britain. Okay? And then they came to a point where they made a law in London stating imposing taxes but refusing representation. Okay? And the colonies, there were 13 colonies in the United States at the time, you know, before it now became 50 states, 13 colonies. The 13 colonies sent emissaries to London stating no taxation without representation. Okay? And they just wanted to have members in the parliament in London. But the government in England at the time refused, imposed taxes, okay, and refused representation, refused for members of the colonies to send delegates to London. They refused. And eventually, they had a conference in Philadelphia, and that's where the 56 men, okay, George Washington, John Adams, and co., eventually made the declaration no more. And the war between the United States, the 13 colonies, and England, and that's what led to the birth of these great United States we're talking about today in July 4, 1776. What's my point? Appeasement does not work. If the 13 colonies had tried to appease England, there will be no United States today. If Zelensky had tried to appease Putin, Ukraine will be buried by now. Okay? If the Allies did not get into the war against Hitler, against Germany, okay, England will be dead and buried by now. Appeasement does not work. The only thing bullies understand is a greater force. Okay? And so our people must understand this. The governors are idiots. Okay? All our governors are idiots. They sold their birthright and their people for a morsel of bread. They are trying to appease the Fulani terrorist government that we have. Appeasement does not work. Okay? You can't sell your people and then expect the people that you sold your people to trust you. They know you're a traitor because you already sold your people. So sooner or later, they're going to come after the governors themselves and they'll wipe them out. They are what they call willing tools. The governors, the politicians who take money in return for the blood of their people, they are willing tools. Okay? So they are trying to appease the Fulani people for favor. Okay? Appeasement as a policy, as a strategy, does not work with bullies. The only thing that works with bullies is force. Force. Arm yourself, arm your brothers, arm your friends, arm your village, arm your neighbors, arm everybody, arm to the teeth, and fight for your life. Because if you don't fight for your life, you're dead anyway. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is awesome, awesome. And it is clear and crystal. Arm yourself, defend yourself. Arm your loved ones, defend your loved ones. Eye for eye, teeth for teeth. Time for sentiment gone. Defend the Igbo land. Defend the young, defend the old. Defend our ancestral land. Arm yourself. That is the message. Thank you very much, sir. You couldn't have said it more eloquent. So the Biafran government is saying, defend yourself, Biafrans. Youth, rise up and defend yourself. Don't trust your politicians. Don't trust your governors. They are compromised. They are not representing you. They are fighting for the people that instituted them. And that is the Fulani oligarchies. The message is crystal clear. Thank you very much, sir. Mazimbabwe, please, sir, ask Mr. President your question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Fellow Biafrans, you've had the president of the Republic of Biafra in exile clear. He said it right, and he, without mincing words. His position well resonates with me as a veteran, because according to the Roman saying, "Si tu pacem, bella parati." In other words, if you want peace, you must be ready for war. You must be ready to defend yourself. You must be ready to take on the bully. So he's loud and clear about it. And so, my fellow Biafrans and lovers of freedom, this is our time. I know you'll be asking, defend myself, defend yourself. How do we do that? Because we started by being disarmed by the Buhari government. And now you're asking us to defend ourselves. So how do we do it? So on that note, Mr. President, do you have any plan? Do you have any room in your heart? Do you have any space that these governors, these politicians who know that they have been compromised, because I mean, they don't need the light to see it. They know they've been compromised, but they might be looking for a way out. Do you have any room left? Because you have made your case clear, you have called on them, you have done everything to bring them to sympathize with our cause, and at least work towards getting Nnamdi Kanu out. Do you still have room for, to allow them in, to come in and realize they've gone the wrong way? And so you are giving them another opportunity to come back, the prodigal sons, to assist in this struggle. That's my question. So I'm just playing the devil's advocate. And as a citizen of Biafra, do you have such opening for those of us who have gone astray to come back and join you in what you're doing and fund this struggle? Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. It's a good question. God forgives all of us when we make mistakes and we realize we made a mistake and we'll go back to God in repentance. And so the same thing naturally would apply to our brothers who are the governors and politicians. They must understand that the time is up. They are in the 11th hour. The devil is at the door. They're nearly at the point where there's no room for conversation anymore. But, we're nearly there. We're not there yet. So if any of them is having an epiphany now, and by the way, if you're not having an epiphany, I'm talking to the wives now and the children of these governors. You better have the epiphany now. Okay? If your husband, the governor, is not having the epiphany, you that are the wife, like enjoying the money, enjoying being first lady, enjoying the pleasures of office, and all, enjoying the reward of crime, the process of crime, you better have that epiphany now. Because when the Israelis got their country, they didn't just go after the henchmen of Hitler, they went after their whole family. They went after their wives, they went after their children, they went after everybody. And that's what's going to happen in Biafra land. Biafra is going to come, and there will be a reckoning. So, madam, while you're being first lady and you're enjoying the pleasures of crime, the process of crime, you better open your eyes, you better talk to your husband, you better tell him, time's up. Go and talk to those people and turn around, okay? And go and declare your allegiance to the Biafran people and, turn your back on the Fulani people. If they do that and come to us, we will talk to them, we will work with them, but they must come with open hands, they must come with complete surrender, complete determination to work with the Biafran people and declare publicly against the Fulani people. Because I am ready, I'm declaring my allegiance to the Biafran people every day when I come here to do this broadcast and do this job. I took an oath of office on my life. I put my life on the line for the Biafran people because I love my people. I'm committed to my people. And so every governor, politician that's turning a new leaf and is having an epiphany needs to know that they will be put in public and they have to declare their allegiance publicly to the Biafran people. We need to know who is with us and who's not with us. Okay? And it's as simple as that. Because they have messed up so much, they have been so treacherous that we need to put them on the stand. If they repent and turn around and come back, we'll work with them. We want Biafra, We want our own country. We don't want Yoruba land country. We don't want Hausa Post country. We don't want Fulani country. Let Fulani stay in their own. Yoruba stay in their own. Midwest stay in their own. And take care of yourself. We want to be by ourselves and take care of ourselves and have our own country. And the Fulani people, they can move to London because we know that Britain is supporting them. They can move to London and go and become, UK is made up of four nations, and they can become the fifth nation of United Kingdom. So you have United Kingdom of Great Britain and Wales. So you can have United Kingdom made up of 5 nations: England, Wales, Ireland, Scotland, and Fulani, because they are in bed with them. Okay, but for any of these people who want to, who are having an epiphany, yeah, come talk to us. We'll listen to you. But be ready. We're going to put you publicly, and you have to be serious about it. And if you're not, Madam, First Lady, son, daughter of these evil governors, you better talk to your father or talk to your husband. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. On behalf of Biafrans, I said thank you very much for your willingness, for your open heart opening for us, those of us who have gone astray, to come back and join you in what you're doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Mr. President, I have my question for you. And this goes to what this government stands for. You stated it that the government is for everybody and there's an open hand to welcome everybody. My question is to you, sir. What are the challenges are you seeing or have you faced in this government trying to unite these people you're calling to come together? Because you were elected, you were sworn in, and the world knew, or we all know, that you are the face of Biafra when it comes to, leadership. How have you reached out to all the other organizations and associations there that are trying to do things on their own to know the direction this government is going? I know one thing is to say you have an open hand to welcome them, and my thing is that, have you made any frantic efforts since your inception as the president of the Republic of Biafra government in exile to reach out to any of these, including IPOP, including the autopiloters, including all these other small organizations and associations out there? What have you done, sir? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I mean, at the very onset, the government was elected August 3rd. Prior to the election, we had several meetings, and those meetings began from as far back as May, I think, eventually before the election on August 3rd. So most of these organizations were invited, including the BGIE, Biafra Government of Exile, based in England, Ibozari, IPOP, Avid, Advet, a lot of them, So the election was done, World Igbo Congress was part of it, So by that process alone, we reached out to them because they were part of this election that we did that resulted in my office, number one. Number two, since being elected, I've also reached out to as many of them as we can. I will continue to reach out to them. For instance, with IPOB, we are in communication with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers, Barrister Jimako, when I've had conversations with him. I've written letters to him. When we gave the award, Lion of Biafra 2 to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Barrister Ejiofor was invited to receive that award on his behalf, and he did show up, even though he had connection problems. He attended. Our work is public. Our broadcasts are public. Our doors are open. People know where we are. We have an office. We have a phone number. We have a website. We're constantly in the air, and we're reaching out all the time. Any Biafran who has clean hands, who doesn't want to use the government to do some private business, Like we have some people who want to do vapor joints, Nkwobi joints, pepper soup joints, and all these shenanigans under the guise of government. It's not going to work. It's either you're serving the people of Biafra with an open heart or you're not. And so our basic policy, when I got elected, and the first speech I gave to our people, I promised them three things: transparency, accountability, and no conflict of interest. This is my promise to them. And the same stands today, and that's how the government is run. Everything we do is done through the eyes of those three ideas. So if you're willing to be transparent and accountable and shun conflict of interest, and you want to serve the Biafran people with a clean heart, come on down. Okay, we want the best brains, the best minds working for us. But you must be accountable. And that's why I created an oversight committee to which everybody in the government is accountable to, including myself. The oversight committee is led by a veteran, two veterans. The chairman and the vice chairman are both veterans. They're both elder statesmen. They are uncles, fathers, who have shed blood, tears, and sweat for the cause of our people. So they know what we're talking about. They know what's at stake. They fought the war. They put their life, on the line. They know what's going on. So these are the members of the chairman and the vice chairman of the oversight committee that has the power to recommend impeachment of the president, has the power to sanction, to penalize, to rebuke, to chastise, and even recommend impeachment for me. They have those powers. And so you can't be more transparent than that. And their work is done in secret. I have no influence over it. Okay? So we're building a nation based on correct principles. We're building a government that's going to mirror a new nation based on accountability and transparency and no conflict of interest. And so we invite every organization that wants to partner with, even the ones in Finland. Our brother in Finland, Simon, I've invited him. We invited him first to Aladima. He refused to show up to have a public debate on what he's doing for Biafran people and so on and so forth. He refused to attend. I've written to him, I've spoken to him privately. He refused. And so we have a lot of these shenanigans going on in the Biafran space. And that's why we have a government that embraces the policy of transparency, accountability, and no conflict of interest. And so you have to ask yourself, the people, the organizations that do not wish to work with the government or do not wish to come into conversation with the government, maybe it's because their hands are not clean, or maybe because they're not ready to embrace transparency, accountability, and no conflict of interest. We had a group recently that tried to be part of the government and suddenly wanted to start selling pepper soup joint and Nkwobi joint and Ishewu and all this stuff within the government. And we said, no, that's not what the government is set up for. The government is set up to serve our people with integrity, okay? That's what it's set up for. Your business is separate. Your business must be separate from the government. So, we have all of these shenanigans going on. But there are also many, many wonderful brothers and sisters around the world who have the like of Mazia Sapporo and the like of Days Emerson and several others who are working with us now in our cabinet advisory team. So we invite publicly Biafrans who want to serve or work with the government. If you have anything whatsoever you want to contribute to the government, time, treasure, talent, please contact us. and we're happy to work with you. Our number is +1 202-787-8909. That's the WhatsApp number, +1 202-787-8909. So contact us. We want the best talent working with us. We want the smartest people working with us. We want, and we will give you respect and honor for the work that you do. And we'll not mess you up. So we're serious about the work that we're doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you very much. You are very well on point. You know, people keep on saying that we are not reaching out to people. The government is open, it's everybody's government. And if you know you are genuinely doing something for Biafra, come, let's know what you're doing, because this government is built on transparency, accountability, and no conflict of interest. So no single tree makes a forest. If you know your hands are clean and you're genuinely working for Biafrans, come and have a conversation with this government. On this note, I don't know whether any other person has questions for Mr. President, so that we leave him to go because he has enormous engagements. So if you have any other question, if not, we let him go and the discussion continues. Thank you. I mean, among the Sister Rosemary, do you have anybody on social media? Any calls? I have the phone. There's no calls yet. But if the members of this cabinet, of this in the studio, don't have more questions for Mr. President, we can let him go and we continue the discussion. Thank you.
People on the social media, Facebook, and I think I see one person from YouTube too. They have most of them have some people are in support of what we are doing, and
do they have any question for Mr. President, sister?
No,
any question you can read? Okay, fine.
No question that I'm seeing here.
Okay, then we let Mr. President go. We can analyze the social media responses.
Except that somebody said, "Oh, that person." Okay, there is no question.
So, okay, Mr. President,
there's one more thing I want to comment on before I go. It's come to my attention. There's a video going around about the shutdown of Biafra land on the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and 14th. I just want people to know that we're still evaluating the source of that video, and there's another audio to similar effect. We're evaluating the source of that. We'll have a detailed statement on that by tomorrow. I think that the audio and the video says that Biafra land is going to be shut down on the 9th, 11th, etc. So today is the 6th. By 7th, we will make another broadcast where we'll give you our position on that. So we're going to take the time to research and also to engage with the parties who have made those announcements to figure out exactly what they're trying to do and why they've made those announcements. Then we'll have a position for you by tomorrow. So on that note, I'm grateful for your time and attention. A copy of this press statement will be in our website, publicofbiafra-gov.org, and also a copy of the report that tells the history of the emergence of the government will be on our website, republicofbiafra-gov.org, and will also be on our news blog, biafraglobalmedia.com. If you have any further questions, you can reach my office by calling the number +1 202-787-8909. On that note, I'm grateful for your time and thank you so very much. Good night for now.
So, Mr. President, thank you. Can you hear me? Thank you for coming today to address, and this is going to be a weekly program. The president will address the nation once a week, and it's going to be streamed live from our studio. On that note, we leave Mr. President to go and continue with his daily engagement while we keep the discussion in the studio. Thank you, sir, and thank you for your time. Have a good evening.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye. So thank you, and awesome presentation by the president. So I will come to Mr. Jiffy. You heard what the president said about his stand on the video going around. What is your stand on this video of a shutdown the nation, Biafra? You know, what do you think Mr. President's remark might be? You know, when he comes out to address the nation concerning this issue, you have 2 minutes to what you predict what Mr. President can say when he comes back. Thank you.
Thank you, Wanda Rosemary. But I have to remind you that Mr. President said that we're still evaluating the video and the audio, so that we'll have an official stand. I will defer to that decision and not choose not to comment on it, because I have my own opinion, which may be at variance with the opinion of any of our members here. So I will not at this time, for the sake of not being a unilateralist, I will not comment on the video. But sincerely, the president's presentation was a good good outing. I'm happy we're here and we're working for our people, and I'm sure when all is said and done, they'll be proud that we're here representing them. Thank you, my fellow Biafrans. Can hear you.
Sister Rosemary, you might go anchor. Please take it off from there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ife, for... Please, if you're not speaking now, mute yourself. When you have to speak, you unmute. Mute yourself because we're having interference, please. Thank you so much, Mr. Jife, for you have spoken well, and you gave a very good answer to that, because our president has said that we have to, he is still evaluating it with the cabinet members, and that's where we stand until we finally see who said what and what is being said. Then we can be able to make a decision and let our people know exactly where the government stands. Thank you. I appreciate you. And Papumo Adama Zimbabwe, I come to you now. And you have heard about what the president have said today, and the questions that were thrown on to him, and the way he handled them, and the way he answered them. And today, being the first day, the first press release that is being done. So I would like to get from your own, view, how did it went, and what do you think went out today? And unmute yourself, sir. What happened? I guess the Jamaica has muted everybody here. Okay, so yeah, go ahead, unmute yourself now. One did you please unmute him?
Christine, hold on. Christine,
okay, can go now.
You have to unmute yourself. Yes, not me.
Yes, I just had the access to do that now, so and I did.
They told me I cannot unmute you from my end.
Really? Okay. Thank you very much, my sister Rosemary. Yeah, it's been a very good outing. Like Mazimoye said it. Today being the first day, I think the president spoke eloquently and strongly, well-articulated speech delivery. Yes, coming to what's going on in social media about whether to be or not to be, whether to sit at home for 10 days or for 15 days, I think the president carefully and wisely gave his position, pending when he has deliberated over it with his cabinet, and then be able to respond to Biafran people in a manner that shows wisdom and transparency. So let's not be bothered with what's all the innuendos going out there. Because first of all, as a Biafran citizen, I have to ask myself, if I'm going to stay home for 4 or 5 days, do I have what it takes to be able to do that? Do I have enough food to eat? Do I have enough food for my children, for my wife? So those are the things that we have to factor in. I mean, sitting at home is the best. In fact, rest is the best thing for a human being. I mean, if you can stay at home. I mean, I love to have somebody tell me, Mazin Bakwe, just stay at home and relax. We have your back. Yeah, well, yeah, I would love to do that, but so we will have to evaluate that very carefully. I see what that is done to stoke. If you want to enjoy the tune, you have to pay the piper. So you can't be making promises that you cannot fulfill, or giving mandates that you cannot back up. Our people are vulnerable. They've suffered. They are hungry. And each day they go out to struggle to find their daily bread. So, if you stop them from going out to find their daily bread, then you have to, be ready to support them. So do we really have that resources to support them while they stay home, so as to make our case clear to our enemy, to tell them that, look, enough is enough. This marriage should come to an end. Do or die. So, like President said it, he's evaluating it with his cabinet. So hopefully by tomorrow or next year or so, he'll be able to tell the Biafran people what is best. Not just anybody getting on social media and telling you to stay at home, that is going to enforce it. With what? So those are the things that we have to be very mindful of. And please, never you tell your enemy what you're going to do to him. Because your best weapon is surprise. If you can surprise your enemy or then you have won almost 95% of the battle. So don't come out and tell me, I'm coming to kill you tomorrow. I'm not a tree that will stay there by the time you come back tomorrow. So please, that would be my take on that. But let's wait for the president to, with his cabinet, to tell us exactly which way to Ohio. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mazin Bakwe, President of Chairperson Elderly Council. You have spoken very well, as always, like an elder. We heard what the president said, and analyzing his security announcement. Yes, he was very silent about this lockdown of Biafra lands, pending the time he's going to consult with his cabinet. Probably there is something this young man in Finland knows that we don't know. But I know there is no tree that makes a forest, because we are in Biafra. Nobody is more Biafran than the other. So we are glad to, and we are really, our ears are itching to hear what the president is going to say on this regard. So my take is that we don't make empty threats when we don't have anything to do. And again, Mr. President was very eloquent about it. He said that if you know you are genuinely fighting for the freedom of Biafrans, come out, let's have a talk. That is, it takes a courageous man to say that. The president is not afraid of Chike Dozem coming out to put his stand. He's not afraid to say, Simon Ekpa, come, let's have a talk. If you are bringing your own on the table, let's collaborate and get things done. No single person is in our land. And you cannot go and do people. You cannot start with something you cannot finish. There are ways you do things. So he calls on courageous freedom fighters to come and talk to the government. Tell us what you're doing. We are ready to listen. That was awesome. Mr. Jiffy, what do you take from all the things concerning the video going on out there about, you know, our security during this Christmas? We are not for Peter, we're not for Paul. We are for what is more beneficial for Biafrans. And Mr. President said it clearly. Defend yourself. I'm yourself with AK-20, AK-40, AK-700, AK whatever you can lay your hands on. Even if it means using anything you can do locally to defend yourself, you have a law-abiding right to defend yourself. And he was very, 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 very clear on that. So what do you say about this lockdown and the president's stand? Well, can you predict what he's likely to say tomorrow when he calls back? Thank you.
Thank you, Mazin Didiamaka. Nice attempt. Sorry. Thank you, Madam Didiamaka. I'm sorry. Sorry for that misspeak. But what I'm trying to say is you're trying to rope me again with this question, you know. I'm not gonna try, but all I'm saying, we Biafrans, we are Biafrans, you know. We are united in one purpose. Nigeria gone, done with. Anybody who is talking about Nigeria is against Biafra. Be you a governor, be you a politician, who consider you like a terrorist, Buhari and his government, until you make amend. Like the president said, you know, we have open arms so that everybody come in. This issue is not anything we are taking lightly, because lives, security of lives and properties are very at stake. Defend yourself, defend yourself, defend yourself. Our people should stop eating nama. We've been telling them this forever. Just like we told them since 2014 that everything happening will happen. They never listened to us. The Rubicon has been crossed. This war being fought on our land is a war we must not let keep going on. We must make sure that stand on our ground that Biafra land is not Nigeria, and anybody trying to blackmail us into Nigeria, just like Peter Obi is doing right now with all this, is appeasement. Each and every one of us have heard the president spoke eloquently about appeasement. The United States of America refused to appease Britain, and that's why we have the US today. And Britain follows the US, begging them for alliance, NATO alliance here and there. So this is the time for us to stand our ground. We don't want to Nigeria. Nigeria has not been good. Whether it is since 1914 it was created, or since 1960 it was they fraudulently said that we had independence. Biafrans must rise up, have them arm themselves and defend themselves. We don't want foreigners in our land.
Yes.
We don't want foreigners in our land. And as far as the video is concerned, tomorrow we will give everybody an answer to that. Thank you, Madam Ndidamaka. Once more, I apologize for calling you Malice. You're not too Malice.
Maybe because I'm stuffed, right? Don't mind me. It's okay.
Stop that. We are live. We are live.
As far as this is concerned, Mazi Jife said it, that Biafrans will defend themselves. My sister Rosemary, you heard Mr. President said the best way to confront a bully, to take care of a bully, is to confront him. Are you trying to, what do you make out of this? Because the video going around, is it a way of confronting the bullies Do we have all it takes to make sure we strike one time and make an impact? Or what do you think? I know the president said he's going to consult his cabinet and come with an answer to this circulating video. What can you predict the president might say concerning this tomorrow, sister? Thank you.
Thank you so much, my sister, and thank you, everybody. And my Biafran people, once again, I greet you. You see, sister, we know that we will be speculating because we do not know exactly what the president will be saying tomorrow or how he will be coming up to address the nation tomorrow. Regarding this. But I will tell you where my problem lies. I'm sorry to say this. I really, really have a problem because this is a struggle. We are all facing, the risk of being annihilated from our own land. And the people that we call the legal team, I'm sorry to say this, they should stay on their land. Even if they have a message or something, they have to have their own channel of channeling that in. We do not want this type of information speculating or circulating within our struggle. Yes, I don't know whether Mazi Simon Epa has his own intels or something, and I don't know where he's coming from, and I don't know which way he's going, but believe me, our people are dying. Any way to save life, we have to safeguard ourselves. I don't see anything, when somebody says stay in your house and protect yourself. Again, and I don't believe in somebody trying to give a threat and they turn out to be an empty threat. So that's why our president, I believe he said he's evaluating the issues together to see which way he's coming. But my people, anyhow you can save your life, save your life. If you have to stay indoors, stay indoors. After all, during the COVID season, we were locked down for 3 full months. 3 full months. Even the relief that was given to our people, none of them received it, but they survived. And that time we were locked down, that's when they used trailers upon trailers upon trailers of Dangote to bring these criminals and dump them in our forests. So what is the point for people coming to tell us, our leader said from the dungeon, they should stop confusing themselves. Our leader has been in the dungeon for 7 full months. Please go and get him out. And don't come here and be telling us shenanigans. We don't trust in that. We don't believe in that. And even if he says something, this is not how to slap it around. Please, my people, get yourselves together. Get a grip of yourselves. If you're a legal team, stay on your legal team. If you're agitation group, stay on your agitation. That's where we are. We want him out from the dungeon. We don't want you to be going over there or doing something and coming and telling us, yes, are you a Nigeria or are you a Biafran? We are Biafrans. We want Biafrans, we don't want that.
That is a great question. Thank you, Wizard. We are, apart from being members of this government, we are Umada. We say it the way it is. We are respecters of people who stand on truth, justice, and equity. We speak it the way it is. Mazimbakwe, I'm coming to you next, but before I come to you, you heard what Sister Rosemary said about this voice purported to be made by the one of the attorneys representing Mazin Namdekalo. Biafra we are today has gone beyond IPOP. They still don't get it. Biafra we are today is beyond one man. Nnamdi Kanu is in the dungeon. He needs help. Biafra we are today realize that Nnamdi Kanu is in the hands of the enemies. Most of the things he's going to say is going to be censored. We are all aware of that. We are not idiots. What is the interest of this man? In as much as I don't support what Simon Ekpa is saying or doing, the only thing I support in what Simon Ekpa is doing is that people should defend themselves. And that's exactly what the president has said today. We are in unannounced war. War has been going on in our land. And you must defend yourself. Are we in support of what Simon is saying or doing? No, we are not. Are we against it? No, we are not against it either. We are Republic of Biafra government in exile until the president validates the whole situation and tells us where this is coming from. Defend yourself. He was very clear. So, Mazin Bakwesa, you had this money with what Simon is circulating and his team. There came this voice that is, they said, came from one of the attorneys of our leader, Mazin Namdekalo, trying to water down. And, you know, we are just, Biafrans are between the devil and the deep blue sea. They don't know where to go. They need direction. And that is why Mr. President said tomorrow, after consulting today and validating those info, he will come and be, you know, categorically be addressing Biafrans to tell them which way and where to go. So, sir, what do you make out from this voice emanating after Simon taught Biafrans to defend themselves? And then came this voice. Who is working for who? Thank you, sir. Please, I want you to lend your voice.
Say this because I'm an elderly man. Years are not just made years. They come along with wisdom. Now we have to be very, very careful. We have to really, really decide and analyze where we're coming from, what we have, given what is being pushed down, forced down on us. Now, let's go back to Nnamdi Kalu's situation. If you all recall, Nnamdi Kalu was opening our eyes, analyzing situations, why this union should come to an end. He didn't just go pick up guns and start shooting everybody. He was very, very diplomatic about it. Now, really, what should make us followers of Nnamdi Kalu is if we can mimic him. We are not mimicking him. Now, let me take you back to the Bible. During the time of Christ, he had his followers, his disciples, his apostles. They watched him preach the gospel of redemption. They watched him heal the sick. And when he was taken away from them, do you know how people recognize them that they've been with Christ? Because they were doing those things that Christ was doing while he was with them. They were healing the sick. They were preaching the gospel of redemption. So my question is, those of us that are left behind by Nnamdi Kalu while now in the dungeon, how are we actually mimicking him, representing him? Are we just out there doing our own thing? And then we come to say, oh, this person said, Nnamdi Kalu said. When you are in captivity, you have lost all the rights, all the freedom to say or do, instruct your people. We should know what, if we have actually been with you, know exactly those things that you will have done if you were there. So let's not just go about saying, oh, Nnamdi Kalu said through the lawyers. We don't even need to hear anything from Nnamdi Kalu now. We should know what is in his mind and be able to start doing it. So let's not be confused about that. Now, on the other hand, it's not just defending yourself. You have to have the wherewithal to do that. We have been left dry and bare all along. In fact, the little dang gun we had was taken away from us. So if you are saying defend yourself, yeah, it's in the books. It sounds good, yes. I mean, if you are cornered by a wild animal, you have to find a way to escape. Even if you have to use a 2x4 to kill the wild animal and get out of his way, yes. So we will do that. But let's not consume ourselves by telling our people, defend yourself, defend yourself. What did you give them to help for them to use to defend themselves? We have not done that. We've been struggling. People are not willing to contribute to this struggle. They are sitting on the fence, pointing finger, blaming, looking for an easy way out, praying and prophesying, casting and binding. It's not going to get it. So let's do what we know we can do. Let's not give a threat. What Simon Ekpa does, to me, is a little childish. I hope he's hearing me now. It's a little childish. Even if you have something that you're going to use, you don't need to tell your enemy. You don't need to tell those, you just have it in your mind. Now, if you are telling your people, sit at home, don't move. Yeah, maybe sitting at home will help them from being slaughtered if they're out there in the farm. By staying home, that will kind of minimize the amount of killing we're going to receive from our enemies. But not to make the government release Nnamdi Kanu. In fact, they are happy that you are sitting at home, eating yourself raw. It's just like we are shooting ourselves in the foot. In fact, they would love for us to sit at home for the rest of our lives so that they can have their way. So, like we said, the president is going to convene with his cabinet and come up with a wise decision in that direction. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. You said it like you said, wisdom comes with age. But we still have old people in Biafra land. They have no brain. Because why would elders be in the land and people like Simon Youth are now the one taking up leadership? People like President Tony became, the fourth leader of Biafra. When we have the so-called elders, because they are compromised, they have sold themselves. You couldn't have said it any clearer, sir. You use that wisdom God gave to you to say it the way it is. It is not making empty threats. It is not subjecting people to defend yourself. It is equipping them, enabling them to do so. I, for one, I'm speaking for myself. I'm not speaking for the Republic of Biafra government in Exile. I'm speaking for myself. Ndidamaka, President Umada Biafra worldwide, and I'm speaking to Simon Ekpa. People, his ears here typing, tell him that Umada Ndidamaka said, we have had him lay all these commands, all these demands and all these things in the past, and they never come to pass. He didn't do anything. We don't want Simon to subject our people there, and the military zoo will come with their military mind to come and kill my people this Christmas. That makes me wonder, whom is he working for? If he makes this empty threat, who is Simon working for? Devil Mahe is his governor. Simon Ekpa has never condemned what Devil Mahe is doing. Devil Mahe was the willing tool that the Fulani oligarchy said they will use to destroy, to throw the Quran in the ocean. They said they will use the South minority and they use the West minority, and then the South willing tools. Simon Ekpa, one day the Damaka is asking, look at my face, are you the willing tool that they want to use? That's the question I'm asking you. Are you the willing tool? If you know you are not the willing tool, make sure you're not just rendering empty threat for them to come and kill my people this Christmas. If you know what you're doing is right, fine. But if you know it's an empty threat, you and Devil Mahe and people like Hopos of them are working together, you are deceiving gullible followers. Then Allah Biafra checking. I said it. Omata Biafra warn on again. If you know what you are threatening is right and you have the enablement to accomplish it, go ahead. We say go ahead. But if you know you are making an empty threat, or you are Devil Mahe is working with you, you are working with the Fulanis to destroy my people. Simon Ekpa, Allah Biafra checking. Call on this in. You should call this in and tell him that the one that did Amaka, President Umada Biafra worldwide, has come again to tell him to follow up on this. Let it not be an empty threat. Let it not be an empty threat. Let Christmas not be a time to have bloodbaths in Biafra land because of his empty threat. But if he is genuinely looking for Biafra and he's equipped to do what he want to do, okay, he has my... We raise this case right there. Do whatever you can do. But if it's empty threat like before, please shield your empty sword. On that note, sister, I don't know, 1 minute, 30 seconds to do your final closing, or we must leave here by 3 o'clock, 1 hour in 2 minutes, please. Unmute yourself.
Thank you. Let me make this closing plea to Master Simon. I am Wada Rosemary, and you know me very well. It has been a while that I have not trusted in what you're doing or where you stand. But at this time, I still make a plea with you. If you know that you do not have what it takes to do what you want to do, you know that you are putting our people in danger. But if you know that you can withstand it, that's what we are looking for. Whoever that will stand up and, you know, protect our people, and we will support you. But again, this is Christmas, and a lot of people are coming. And just even if you have whatever you are doing, do not stand alone. There is a Republic of Biafra government in exile. You know that it exists. Do not stand alone. And we still have our ESN members out there. We have genuine people that are leading them too. Do not stand alone. We need to come together. Every Biafran that is working for Biafran should come together. Time have gone when we all stand apart. We are all one people, fighting for the same cause. It is time we merge our forces together and deliver our nation, Biafra, which in turn will bring our leader out from where he is. If you have that strength, as you have claimed, come along, we will support you. Thank you.
Thank you. I absolutely agree. If he has what it takes, merge. I listened to Gaddafi. Gaddafi said they are the military wing of the struggle. Nobody is disputing that. But military is not military of word. If you guys are genuine, merge so that you people remain the military, and then we get the real support from all of us and the government. And then we do it one time and for all, because whether we're going to face this war, we will face it. It's obvious. So, but one thing we said, we don't want empty threats. Come together. Mazin Bakwe, just 1 minute to do your closing remarks, sir. Thank you.
Rosemary has said, there is no way, it's not going to be possible. I want to remind Biafrans, if you are hoping that we're going to get Biafra by being split into bits and pieces, it's not going to work. I am telling you this now. Mark it on the wall. We must have to collaborate. Autopilot, IPOB, must, and then the Republic of Biafra in Exile and other organizations must have to collaborate. Otherwise, even if you are handed over on a silver platter, Biafra, you won't know what to do with it. You're going to have problem. But we must have some kind of common understanding and collaboration to make it work. So don't waste your time trying to fight alone, trying to be the one man in the island. And this goes very much to Simon Ekpa. I've watched him. I've been in a meeting with him. But the direction is leading you, Biafrans. It's not going to end very well. I am predicting this now. If it's prophecy, I am giving it to you. We must collaborate. If Simon Ekpa decides not to collaborate with us, he's going to lead you astray. And even if you end up getting that Biafra, it's not going to be a comfortable Biafra for anybody. Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. You said it with wisdom as always. Mazin Warrior, 30 minutes, 30 seconds, please, to do your closing remark. And we're going to get out of here. A word is enough for the wise. Thank you.
Thank you, my fellow panelists and Ms. Moderator, Wada Rosemary. Biafra is here. Biafra is coming. The enemies are afraid. This is not a time to slumber. Distraction must not apply. I do not have any interest to antagonize anybody, but I think we should each reappraise the objective of this struggle. At the end of the time, it is for Biafra. We want Mazen Nandakan out. And anything we can do to make those people holding him uncomfortable, I encourage it. Whether it is the zoo government, led by Jibril Rabi Yusuf Buhari, or the Biafran politicians scattered all over, looking for crumbs for their pockets. From the governors to the politicians, none of they do not have a vote of confidence from us. So that we must know and work consciously to defend and protect ourselves. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Mazi Jiffy. On this note, we're going to come to the end of this broadcast. Our text today is that Mr. President has reaffirmed that Biafrans must do self-defense. Protect yourself. This is Christmas time. Is a time, there is high level of crime and insurgents. You must be alert and security conscious and protect yourself. And he said he's going to consult with his cabinet and address the nation on this video of Simon and the other counter voice of the lawyer going around. He's going to consult and make his researches to tell Biafran the stand of the government in all this confusion. On this note, we say Mr. Simon Ekpa, Umada Biafra Worldwide, said, if you know you are genuinely seeking for Biafra, come for collaboration. A tree does not make a forest. We are open to work with you. We are open to work with you. You should be open to work with the government. You were invited from the beginning. During the collaborative meeting, you were invited. This is time for all of us to come together and do one thing and let it be impactful. No single man is going to get Biafra. And for those who are still trapped in the closet of IPOP, I want Chike Dozem to speak up. I want Ima Powerless or whatever his name is to speak up. I want China Sawaru, he said he's the head of security, to speak up. Allah Biafra, we have been surrounded and you guys are keeping quiet. The IPOP command and control, you guys are keeping quiet. If you are genuine, Umada challenging you guys to rise from your slumber and tell us your stand. On this note, we say Mechuko Kikabiama lead, let Umar Biafra follow. And Merry Christmas to all, if there is anything to merry about it, because our land is saturated with blood of our children and we are in pain. Good night from me. From this studio, we say good night.